Hey everyone, how's your week been? Um, okay, let me just. Oh, Starboy, I haven't seen you here for a while. Um, Le- Lebo Gang. Okay, so fundamentals. Okay, so I'm predominantly just a technical trader. I don't really trade the fundamentals, especially because I trade with ThinkCapital. In all honesty, I'm staying away from like red folder news. But yeah, guys, please do like the live for me. We're gonna be doing a giveaway at the end of the session. So hey, Dak. Um, good morning to you. It's afternoon here, so let me know where you guys are from. Okay, perfect. So let me share my screen, and I want to basically break down for you guys my market structure strategy. So let me get this up here. SB King. Hello, hello. Hope you're good. We have you been one of our winners, SB King? SP King, sorry, not B. Right, let's have a little look at what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go through each of the things that I do like to trade. So I'm just get rid of that for a sec. Okay, perfect. Right. Let's have a look at NQ. So if you guys didn't know, I do pay attention to 4-hour trend lines. But I really, really like trading market structure because regardless of trend lines or whatever, I'm still using market structure. And I was kind of coming to a bit of a conclusion this week, as I've actually been doing the 75-day challenge. This has been the first week of the 75-day challenge where I'm literally sharing my trades every single day. This is really forcing me to take accountability and really look at what I'm doing. So if you struggle with discipline, guys, honestly, set yourself a little challenge, commit to 30 days of doing something and actually learn the lessons from those things, because you're actually you're gonna learn a lot. Anyway, like I was saying, I do like using trend lines, but recently I have been kind of thinking, is that just an added extra thing that isn't really necessary? Because if I'm going to be doing market structure anyway, why not just trade market structure? So for example, let's have a look at NQ. Our market structure, where we're at now, is clearly moving down. So let's get rid of the trend lines for now and let's just look at market structure. Because like I said, I think after this week, I think I might actually just focus on market structure, just because one of the biggest lessons that I'm learning from this week is that when there's too much going on, this is where confusion comes in, doubts creep in, you start mixing everything a little bit too much, and it's just not necessary. I feel like trading should be simple, like as simple as possible, because it's already challenging because you're having to deal with those emotions. And yes, you were. How is the challenge going, SB King? Let me know how you've been getting on. Oh, sorry. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. It was just my alarm going off. Something is obviously crossing a line over on TradingView. Okay, so let's talk market structure. So we're looking at the 4-hour as our bias, because I do think that is, well, it is stronger than the 1 hour. But what I mean by market structure is looking if we're making higher highs or higher lows and vice versa. So like on this side, we can kind of see we had this push down, and then we had a bit of consolidation, and then we started breaking lows. So we created a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. So that for me is a bearish market structure because we're breaking the lows and we're creating highs, but we're not breaking the highs. And when we're, creating those kind of equal, that just means consolidation for me. So what we need to know about market structure is that there's two areas of the market structure. We've got the extension and then we've got the pullback. So in both buys and sells, we're always wanting to enter in the pullback. So if you're looking for sells, you don't want to be entering a sell all the way down here. You'd rather enter a sell here for this move down here, for that extended move down. So let's just have a little look at what NQ was doing, because obviously that's old market structure. We want to be looking at where we're at now. So, we did actually kind of start moving up, and after breaking these highs, but again, it's a little bit subjective. A lot of people say to me, like, how do you know if that's going to be a high? I would personally consider this area as a structured high, and the reason for that is because we've had a big reaction from this area here. So when we broke above here, I would be looking to take a potential buy, and we may have potentially got one. What day was this? So this was the 11th, so that was Tuesday, I think. So yeah, the way that we trade market structure is we need the highs and the lows to be created, because if we want to enter in the pullback, for example, let's just show you guys the path again. We don't know when this pullback is going to end. Obviously here it didn't really pull back very much. We would ideally want it to actually correct itself a little bit more, but it didn't. It kind of just went to here and then went to here. So for me, the way that I would be trading this is we would then, once we get a high created, so we got to wait for, probably would have been this candle here, so that we have a high here. This is our new high, and this is where we would be dropping down onto the 1 hour time frame. So that was so that was Tuesday. And then what we want to see is bearish momentum, because the bearish momentum is the 4 hour pulling back. So we're just using the top down analysis for market structure. We're looking here and we're going to wait until this now changes. So personally, to be on the safer side, we actually want bullish structure on the 1 hour. So we got bullish structure when we broke above this area here. And as you can see, it pretty much broke out, retested the area, and then continued up. So depending on what you want your entry to be, if you want to drop down to the 15-minute, the 5-minute, but even sticking to the 1, I love the break and retest entry. So it just keeps it really simple for me. We break out of an area, we have our position on the retest. We can have our stop loss on the other side of this previous candle here. And my sweet spot is my 1 to 2s. So I mean, it literally went up to a 1 to 3 and 4, but yeah, your 1 to 2 is there. Or we just aim for the last high. So that would definitely be a realistic goal as well, and that's a 1 to 3. So I know it seems so simple, guys, but I think a lot of us just love to overcomplicate things, including myself. I do this and I'm like, why do I not just stick to this? But then I want to add in like all of these other things. When actually market structure is something that I use in every single strategy that I trade. And by the way, I'm not saying that I trade loads of strategies, but I do tend to use trend lines and I do like to mark up like key zones and things like that. But regardless of that point, and also taking into consideration liquidity concepts as well, I'm just adding a lot more to the process when actually it doesn't actually need to be like that. And I think um, sometimes our brains just think that is just way too simple just to do that. That's way too boring. And we get distracted and we want to try other things. We see other people doing this and we see social media doing that. And it really just distracts us. When I've, over the last year, really been refining my strategy and what works for me, because I originally started off as a scalper and now I absolutely know like I don't want to be a scalper. I've been really trying to figure out my strategy for these day trades, where it's not as fast paced, so then I can fit it in around my life. And yeah, like market structure is something that I do with all of the strategies. And I'm like, why add in all of these other things? Why not just keep it simple? So yeah, that's what I've learned from taking my first week of the 75-day challenge. I'm just going to have a little look at some of the comments. Okay. Sure, you passed it last month. Oh wow, you're funded now. That's amazing. Struggling with drawdown again. SP King, I want to tell you something. Like drawdown is not a bad thing. It is part of the process. And I might have mentioned this I think I did mention it last week to you guys that I have a new mentor. Because I actually met with him on the Friday. And he has spent his life trading. He owned a hedge fund, and he worked quite high up in JP Morgan as one of the traders, like an executive trader. So yeah, he knows a lot about trading. And yeah, some of the things he was saying to me is definitely not what you see on social media. And he's not on social media, he's not selling courses, he's actually just a family friend. My partner, his mother, introduced us, so he's just offered to basically be my mentor, which is incredible. But honestly, yeah, the things that he's teaching me and what he's saying about drawdown and the mindset side of things is definitely sometimes not. I guess we have a very unrealistic expectation of what trading is, basically. Right now I'm on GBP or AUD. I'll have a little look at that in a second. Kiru, hey. Jose, I'm sorry, I don't know what what you're saying. Kasia, hey. Mon, hey everybody. Glad that we've got a few more people jumping on now. Don't forget to stay to the end, guys, because we are doing a giveaway, and just make sure you're sharing the live and showing us some support. Calm Night, hey, of course I remember you. You've been here a lot. Umar, hello, hello, hello. Oh, thank you, Naveen. You know what? I've been needing. I've been wearing glasses for years, and I should be wearing them all the time. But I went through a phase of I just couldn't be bothered to wear them. And as soon as I put them back on, I was like, oh my gosh, I can see again. I was like, oh, I should probably wear my glasses. But yeah, I do find it a bit annoying, really. But anyway, okay, so let's have a little look at today. So I was just showing you that little breakdown on NQ. So what I would be looking at on NQ, obviously we had that market shift to the upside, but then we've had a market shift to the downside. So we did have this consolidation period, and the famous head and shoulders that people love to see. You know, I don't know. I don't personally trade that, but I do see this playing out a lot. I guess the first indication of this potentially not continuing up is the fact that we made a higher low. But for me, it's a tough one because yeah, I mean, I see this playing out a lot, but I would prefer for us to be breaking the lows. So let's just move this over to here. We have our lows over here. We're basically waiting for it to break out. And I know, like I said, some people will trade this pattern. But who knows? Like you could just be stuck. It could have just continued to consolidate, or it could have broken its highs, and then we would still be in bullish structure. For me, until the highs or the lows are broken, it doesn't really matter if we're creating in a downtrend. For example, we created a lower high, but at this point we hadn't created a lower low. So that's why I would have wanted to wait. But this move to the downside is fine. I would have got a position, a smaller position, because of the fact that it didn't really pull back very much. But basically what we're waiting for in the downward trend, when we were in the upward trend, we were waiting for the high to be created. Now we're waiting for the low to be created. So we're waiting for this low to be created here. Then we can drop down to the 1 hour again, and wait basically for this 1 hour to go back to being bearish. So we wait, break out here. I don't mean this would have been stressful because it didn't quite reach our area, but it's a bit of an annoying one. That would have been a tough one because you would have missed it by like a pip. But yeah, the idea is that we're entering on that retest area, having our stop loss. I mean, I would have had it above these highs. 1 to 2 is there. Let's have a little look and see what was happening on the 15-minute. Okay, so you would have seen a little bit of this consolidation. So maybe the fact that it, literally rejected from that area, maybe I would have personally got in on that closure there, had my stop loss above that wick. And yeah, I feel like price action has been very, very clean today. But I am personally going to be refining everything over the next week, of actually getting rid of a lot of things. Like I really like entries on the 15-minute and even the 1 hour sometimes, and just taking out all of the added noise. This is the thing, as simple as possible, so it takes away all of that decision, all of that confusion, and just tunnel vision on what works for you, how you see the market. But yeah, so that's NQ. I know, let me see what it is. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you want me to look at something, and then we'll get it up and we'll actually look at what it is that you're trading. Lebo gang, looking forward to the live stream. Oh yeah, so about contact lenses. I've tried, guys, and I have a phobia of things going in my eyes, so I've had to have lessons on putting contact lenses in, and I failed. I've had about, I think, nearly 10 lessons on with Specsavers to try and get them in, and I just can't do it. Oh, Mon, you had the same setup for NAS. That's amazing. Okay, let's have a look at gold, guys. I missed my gold trade, but yeah, let's just look at market structure for gold. I'm going to get rid of trend lines for now. Let's talk about market structure. So, yeah. Okay, so on the 4 hour, we would, this is slightly subjective, to be honest. This is one of those days that maybe the 1 hour would have been a lot better to actually no, that I don't know why I'm saying that. I was looking over that side, but we need to be looking here. We had a low break here, and I would consider this a low. I was saying that here is subjective. I don't know if I would no, I do know I that I wouldn't consider this a low, but here I would. So the fact that we broke this low, we would then be looking for sells. So, here, I would be cautious. I mean, a key area for me for gold to come back into is this kind of area here. This area is all kind of like being mitigated, so I wouldn't class anything here as anything substantial. But yeah, so the fact that we broke here, I did have an order on, but it never came back up to like retest anything. So this is where you would really need. I had an order set here, but this is where you would really need, just price action to be able to get in. But in all honesty, like the there is no real opportunity in gold here for me because it's just so overextended. What I would have wanted to see is something like the retest to happen, but it never did. And that's why I stayed out and haven't taken a trade today, because when I saw it, I was like, this candle had printed, and I was like, please just at least just come try and retest this area. But it just continued to drop. And we've had no pullback on the 1 hour, we've had no pullback on the 4 hour. Yes, okay, it's completely dropped down today and it's gone your way, but when it goes against you and you're like, oh, I should have been more patient, I should have been more this, you got to remember your rules are there to protect you. It's not there to make you lose money, it's there to help you make money. So sometimes you will just miss out on trades, and today was one of those days that I wanted gold to pull back and it didn't. It just dropped. Many of times I've literally, it's just dropped down and I'm like, oh, let's just enter a sell, and all of a sudden you get the pullback. Then, you can't have a big enough stop loss to stay in the trade for when it then comes down again. But yeah, like even, let's just so minimal with this structure. We're just extending and extending, and you've got to weigh up your probabilities here of, do you just want to enter in all of this extension? Let's have a look and see. So yeah, like this is a really nice area for gold actually to come back and retest. We've got a kind of key area just before here as well, like just before that drop, because where we see these big moves, there was clearly a lot of momentum, clearly a lot of institutional traders at this point really making the market move to this area. So this is definitely an area that I'd like for gold to come back up to. But at the end of the day, gold is gold and it will do whatever it wants to do. We clearly had a lot of volume here. So maybe if it doesn't, come all the way back up there, maybe we could be looking something like this. But with gold, in particular, I just love price action. For me to be entering a sell, I need the high to be created. We need the 15-minute bearish, that continuation, that confirmation, and that's it really. If we're going to go off the 4 hour, we just want the low to be created. Once the low is created, we wait on the 1 hour, because for a low to be created, we're going to have a green candle. So that's right now we don't know at what point we're going to pull back. So we want the low to be created first, ideally on the 4 hour. Then we can wait on the 1 hour to watch it, see what happens, see if we get that bullish momentum, which isn't a bad thing. You know, we want it to pull back, but then when it flips to being bearish again, that's our indication. Or we're just gonna continue all the way down here and then reject and push up. Like, I've definitely seen gold do that, you know, where it takes out all of this structure on this side, and we literally, like I said, this is a kind of key zone that previously there was clearly a lot of money in the market here, a lot of liquidity here. So yeah, we could be coming back down to this area and then just get a big push to the upside. So yeah, nothing on gold for me. Let me know if anyone is in any trades on gold. Iron Man, hello. How's your trend line? Should me gone? Should me gone? Is it gone? Are you saying? No. So I have always loved trend lines, and I do think trend lines give you the direction, but I trade trend lines with market structure. So this week I've been doing the 75-day challenge, and it's really been forcing me to look at what I'm trading, the lessons, you know, that I'm having. Whereas sometimes before, when you're not holding yourself accountable, you can just forget about your day. Whereas this week in particular, I've really picked up that regardless of using trend lines, liquidity, whatever, I'm using market structure. That's how I'm mentoring, and that's what I need for confirmation. So why not take away all of the noise of the other stuff and just go straight to market structure? This is something that's come up for me this week, and I'm going to put it into work next week, of just market structure, because everything's just cleaner. And like I was saying at the beginning of this session, that trading needs to be as simplified as possible, because when you've got too much going on in your head, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to make decisions. You want your mind to be clear. You don't want confusion. You don't want too many aspects. You don't want too many biases. You just want it to be nice, simple, and clear. And yeah, like I said, for me, I was like, why not just do the thing that I'm going to be doing anyway and just get rid of the other stuff if it's not necessary. You never know, I might end up really missing having my trend lines there, but if not, then we're now just taking one added thing away to make this more simple. They have been sales, but deep ones. Not sure what you mean. Yeah, Android trader. Laser treatment? Oh, right, for the eyes. I have thought about that. What is the ABC pattern? I am not too sure what you're talking about, my Za. What about today, God? You know what? I was thinking that there must be some news happening in gold, because everything was just dropping, but there wasn't anything substantial. So I guess we're just having a pullback. Like, it's gonna happen. It's interesting to see what gold looks like on the daily. Could we really be seeing a bit of a shift on the higher time frames? It's really interesting, like if we're looking at the weekly, we're very, very bullish, and the last really key areas is all the way down here. Could we finally be coming to fill out some of this, clear space? Because until price comes down to actually break all of this stuff, then we'd really be worried about gold. But I mean, I don't personally see it coming all the way down here, but we have extended so much. Is it about time that we do just have a bit of a pullback? I did read up that things are settling a little bit in the economy for the US. things are settling a little bit between China and the US. This is definitely something that I do really want to be focusing a lot more on. So with my mentor, he's actually a fundamental trader. He did use technical for the hedge fund as well, so he does understand technicals, but their kind of main part was the fundamentals. So I'll be learning a lot more about how that affects, the market and things. And I do think that is something that I will definitely want to pay more attention to. But yeah, for now, we're just going off the technicals. Um okay, let's just have a little look. Hit my stop loss at 4 to 10 just from 2 points and dropped for oh my gosh. Don't worry, calm night. I can feel your pain. Like, oh my god, that is, yeah, it's definitely a hard one. Trading will test you. I follow yeah, I find that silver and gold definitely move in sync with each other. Um but yeah, I am definitely feeling feeling your pain there. Okay, is there any new, okay, patience? Okay, let's have a look at German 30. Let's, oh, German 40. So can't look at German 30, but we can look at German 40. Okay, so this isn't really something that I trade too much, and probably for this exact reason. Like, if you look at it, I personally really, really like trending markets. It's not too bad, but there is like, oh, I don't know actually. It's all right. It's not too bad. Feel like it kind of, the range is very big. If the range was smaller and we're literally just bouncing, then we are getting structure in between, which is fine. So yeah, it depends really for me, because I like to trade things that I really know. For example, like if we're looking at it right now, um, we had the lows here, which came down, then it did break, but we didn't know that this was going to break because we rejected. It could have very easily, this is why we got to wait for these things. It could have very easily just bounced off there and gone up. Just had a very deep pullback, but we ended up breaking through. But on the 4 hour, the 4 hour not being able to give you a bias until we break through here. From the looks of how this looks, I'm feeling like the 1 hour is probably something better to trade on, because by the time the 4 hour plays out, it's already changed direction. So this is a really important thing. And again, something that my mentor said to me, he was like, really find your niche, like find the currencies or the indices, the commodity, whatever it is, find what you're good at. Find the areas that you're good at and really excel in them. Don't need to just choose one if you don't want to, but I'm not really someone that will want to trade like absolute everything, because like I said, if I usually go off the 4 hour market structure in this indice, I'm thinking 1 hour structure is probably better, because you're gonna get more of these opportunities. Whereas because it's kind of just ranging on the 4 hour, you're not gonna really be able to get in. And then you kind of get in and then it changes direction. So let's just have a look at this here. So if we were looking purely at the 1 hour, I would class this here as a low. So let's just have a little zoom in here. yeah, like this kind of area here, I would consider this a low. So the 1 hour breaks its low there. Again, how annoying is that? Um, it coming all the way near to the area of retest and then dropping. But let's have a little look at the 15 minutes. What day was that? That was the 13th yesterday. So where we broke out here. So yeah, then we could have seen on the 15-minute that we could have actually got in on the 15-minute. Even if it didn't trigger you in, I would have personally still entered at that closure. Again, we can just have it now above them, that wick there. Or if you want to be on the safe side, literally, the other side here. It's depending on how confident you are. And then, yeah, entry on the 15-minute. My sweet spot is the 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, and it absolutely smashed that. And this is what I mean by market structure. It's like, regardless of what that starting point was, break out of a trend line, at a trend line, I'm still dropping down and waiting for the market structure. I'm still waiting on the break and retest. So I'm just trying to really refine the different areas that I'm looking at, and I'm just trying to stick to that. But yeah, just looking at German 40, I am thinking that the 1 hour market structure is a lot better than the 4 hour. Because like I said, the 4 hour didn't change until down there. But because it just looks like we're kind of ranging. I don't know, we're kind of moving down. We were moving down, then all of a sudden we moved back up again. But yeah, I'd be worried about it coming to here and then going back up again. So this area here, and just going back up again. I haven't watched this enough to have a real opinion. But yeah, this is the 4 hour market structure shift. We're now waiting on a pullback and a high to be created. I mean, technically we could still have a move, but yeah, more ranging markets. I think the lower time frame is probably a little bit better. Okay, let me just read some of your comments, guys. Follow silver pattern for gold. Check it out, Doey. Okay, yes, let's have a look. I mean, I love trading silver. But yeah, I very much find that silver and gold, if I get an opportunity on silver, I'll get an opportunity on gold as well. Please, is market structure same as partners? Do you mean patterns, Umar? Please have a look at odd JPY. How much points do you use for stop loss in NAS 100? So my stop losses will always differ. It will always differ depending on where the highs or the lows are. So, I mean, here we would have this. It does confuse me a little bit, but I think this is about 64 pips. 64 pips in forex. I don't know how much points that is. Maybe around 60 points. I'm not sure. Yeah, on the futures terminology, in all honesty. Okay, let's have a little look at odd JPY. It's been good today, guys. Thank you so much for letting me know what you want me to look at. And I think this is how we will structure all our next sessions. We'll just go through my strategy on different things, so then you guys can see for yourself, and repetition is the way that we learn. But this is the last thing that we're looking at, because we're actually nearing the end, and then we can do our giveaway. So let's have a little look on the 4 hour. So let's zoom out a little bit. It's looking quite bullish to me. We had this slight bearish momentum here, but then we did have a shift in market structure here. Looks like as well now we're kind of using this area as a support zone. But even if you were to literally, market structure shift, get that, and this is the 4 hour, literally break out, retest, retest on this area here, other side of the last candle, 1 to 3 there. Oh, just something that I want to share with you guys from some of my lessons that I'm having many lessons this week. But one of the reasons why I feel like I lose um, or go on a bit of a losing streak is because of greed. Is not being happy with like a 1 to 2, a 1 to 3. If we were happy with some of these things, I guarantee you guys would be in more profit. But again, we let social media think that we need like 1 to 10, 1 to 5, all these, crazy risk to reward. Don't be greedy. Make sure you are following your system and stick to it. Get good at doing 1 to 2s, get good at doing 1 to 3s when you can consistently do that. And I'm guilty of this, of trying to do that, and then now I want to do 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s. But we need to get consistent at one thing before just trying to hit the home runs. Don't think of that instant gratification. Think about small consistent wins over a long period. That is the goal. But there's been so many times where I could have come out with like a 1 to 2 easily, and then because I'm like holding and holding, wishing for more, it then goes and hits my stop loss. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this, when we should have just come out, because maybe we're not experienced enough in what those higher risk to reward setups look like. Whereas I am very confident with my 1 to 2s and 1 to 3s, but then sometimes that greed, that niggly little voice in my head's like, yeah, let's push it. And again, like, these are lessons that I'm learning this week, and I'm like, actually, if I had just stuck to the trade plan of doing 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, the amount of money that I would have made, instead of either going back to break even or hitting my stop loss, like, we would definitely have made a lot more money. Anyway, yeah, so we had the market shift here. So bit of a tricky one. Um, hmm, it's subjective. We could definitely consider this potentially as a low. So the fact that it broke through, and again, so simple, we have a market shift again. We have that rejection telling you, okay, cool. So we have an order there. We have a stop loss just above there, potentially just coming back down to this key area, 1 to 3. Instead of just being really, really greedy and being like, let me just hold, and now we're all the way back up here. But yeah, so we had a potential market shift here. So now, and also here as well. So let me just show you guys another potential low being broken here. So as long as now we don't come to break this high, so this is our protected high, as long as we don't come to break this high, we could still actually be looking for sales. But what we want is a new lower high to be created, then dropping down to get our entry. So that's what I'm personally seeing for this currency pair. So we want that low to be created. So if this is our low, maybe something like that. But yeah, thought I'd just share that little lesson with you guys. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in as usual. It's always good to see the similar names. I was going to say faces, but similar names. And also just welcome to all of my new people as well. But yeah, so we're going to do a giveaway. 3 people are going to be our winners. If you don't claim it, if you're not here, then we will have to give it to someone else. So thank you again for tuning in. So let me just, we'll be picking someone at random. Okay, our first winner is, here we go, Jose. Jose, let me just, because I don't know if you're going to understand what I've been saying because you actually been writing in a different language. I'll put your name here. You are our first winner. If he doesn't respond, then we will give it away to someone else. But congratulations. Okay, our second winner. Second winner. Here we go. Jaiga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Jaiga. Oh, I see you there. You're our second winner. Congratulations. I know you're still here because I've seen you here, but I'm not too sure if our first winner, Jose, is still here, so we may have to give that away. But it's Jaiga Meta. Jaiga Meta. There we go. That's our second winner. No, I can't see that he's replying though. Oh, Jose has responded, but in another language. Jose, you are one of our winners. Just waiting for Jaiga to respond, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm pronouncing his name wrong. You guys have always challenging me with the usernames. Okay, and our last winner. Here we go. Last winner, Bull Bears. Bull Bears. And again, I haven't. Okay, Jaiga, you have responded finally. Congratulations. We're just going to wait on our last winner to claim his prize. I haven't seen him write or her. I don't know. Bull Bears could be either. But I will wait because I know sometimes YouTube can lag a little bit. But yeah, so all of our current winners, the way that you claim your prize is that you just message me on Instagram, Doey Trades. Just make sure you are messaging the account that has the blue tick. Don't message any other accounts. But yeah, Jose and Jaiga, Bull Bears has not responded, so I have a feeling we may have to actually give away the last winner. But congratulations, guys. Just drop me in, Angelic. Yes, you are a bit late. I'm sorry. We started at 2. Yeah, okay, so I think Bull Bears is no longer here. So we are going to do the last person again. Here we go. Kairu Bell. Kairu Bell. Please say that you're here as well, otherwise we're gonna have to give it away again. Just check the comments. everyone has the chance, Yanda, Yan Dry Trader, but unfortunately, I can only do 3 a week, so you have to tune in again for next week. But congratulations to the first 2 winners, Jose and Jaigu. Oh, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry. But again, I feel like we're not having anyone claim the last one. Kairu Bell. Kairu Bell. I put you in the comments. Jiga. That's it, Jiga. I hope I'm pronouncing right. Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh wow. You guys are always always testing me. Ivalo. Ivalo. Okay, right. We've had someone not claim their prize again. So last time, hopefully, our third and final winner for this week goes to, here we go, Chiku GFX. Oh, Kyrie Bell, you're here. Sorry, it just took ages and ages and ages to respond. Peter, can you drop me another message again? Peter, can you drop me another message again? Kyrie Bell, it took you a long time to claim the prize. Sorry, Chiku, maybe next time, but I have to go with that first person. Who I did initially say just for some reason just took a long time to respond. Okay, so my winners, please drop me a message on Instagram, Peter. I think I was trying to find your messages, but please just message me again if you haven't received your account. But yeah, Doey Trades on Instagram with the blue tick. So guys, just drop me a message. Jose, I'm hoping that you understand that you are our winner, but congratulations, guys. We will be back again next week and you guys will have another chance to win. But thank you so much for your support. I hope you guys have the most amazing weekend and I will see you all soon. Bye.